everybody? This is Angel Ghost Girl. You're watching here. I'm your host, Angelica. About to get in the video. It's paranormal. Read aloud. Right now, if you're new to my channel, we are reading Paranormal, Ghosts, Aliens, and the Unexplained. Haunted Grounds, The Mystery of Bigfoot, Witches of Past and Present. It's a little different. Seems like I should have probably put my phone on, yeah, he's gonna stick there. Hopefully he's not in the video. What is that squeaking noise? It's all good. It's all good in the hood, everybody. I'm just gonna keep it going, man. I think they're playing with the dog. That's okay. We are on page 44, about to start 44. And psychic abilities and the occult is where we're at right now. The Romanization of astrology. After the Romans conquered Greece in the 2nd and 1st centuries BCE, they adopted many of the Greeks' religious and astrological beliefs and occult practices spread throughout Rome's sprawling empire. Sometime in the 2nd century AD, a Greek polymath named Claudius, living in Roman-occupied Alexandria, compiled what was considered the authoritative text on astrology, a companion volume to his work on astrology, making him the first famous Greek astrologer. The text was later translated into Arabic and Latin and became a foundational text for medieval Christian astrology. Yet, despite astrology being widespread, many contemporaries were skeptical of the stars' ability to accurately predict the future. For instance, in the 1st century BCE, Roman statesman and scholar Marcus Tullius dismissed most forms of divination, including astrology. Concerning divination, nor was in divinancy concerning divination, nor was he alone. In the late 2nd century, some of this is not in English, just put that out there. In the 2nd century AD, Roman skeptic Sextus Empiricus released a series of books titled Adventures Against the Learned, Book 5 of which was titled Against the Astrologers. In the 3rd century, Plotinus, one of the most influential philosophers of the ancient world, argued that while the planets had souls, their movements could not predict or control human behavior. Yet, despite these criticisms of astrology, it appears that genuinely most ancient Greeks and Romans considered the practice a valid and useful method for predicting the future. Corporeal means. Rather than looking toward the heavens for prophecies, some ancients looked at animals' livers, a practice known as hepatoscopy. What? That don't make no sense. As far back as the Babylonians, divinators believed they could detect the gods' intentions by reading the livers of ritually sacrificed sheep and birds. Nor were they unique. The people who occupied northern and western Italy before Rome emerged also practiced this form of divination. Later on, both the Greeks and the Romans partook in a practice, the latter called horoscopy, which involved divining meaning from animal entrails. This was also closely related to the Greek and Roman practice of allegory, which observed and interpreted the behavior of birds. In fact, this form of it was centered to myth of Romans founding. According to tradition, Romulus and Remus, the twin brothers who allegedly founded Rome, selected the site for a city by observing the behavior of vultures, looking for signs in animal bodies was not, however, limited to Western cultures in Asia. People would examine the bones of slaughtered animals, usually the shoulder bones of oxen, deer, or pigs, in hopes of divining the future. Moreover, several Asian countries, including China and Japan, have millennia-old traditions of casting lots, a catch-all term of dice, pebbles, balls, or even slip of papers that are thrown and whose final resting place allegedly reveals the will of a deity or events to come. Instead of looking at animal entrails, some diviners turn to the human body as an instrument for predicting the future. One of the most popular forms of this type of divination was palmistry, or the reading of palms. The practice appears to have originated in ancient India, perhaps dating as far back as the 17th century BCE, and spread to China, Persia, and Greece by about 500 BCE, where it was practiced by the philosopher and astrologist. 500 BCE, 428 BCE. A century later, the famed Greeks, Aristotle, introduced palmistry to his students. Alexander the Great, who extremely embraced the practice, Alexander's military exploits undoubtedly contributed to the spread of this practice of palm reading. I'm just going to call it palm reading anytime we see it in the future. So, we're going to read this down here in the corner. These signs of the zodiac from an 1829 history of Buddhism indicate the widespread use of astrology. Opposite many objects, from shells to entrails to ruins carved into bone, have been used through the century for divination. So this is, I guess, an old version of somewhat like that they used to do. But this is, I guess, more modern day looking way they do that. So if you like videos like this, then like and subscribe and comment in the comments below. And until next time, everybody, have a sweet nightmare. Or should I say sweet dreams?